Namo Buddhaya. Welcome back to Monks in the Morning from Colombo Dhamma Friends of Mahamevnawa. Have you ever heard about the night of the Supreme Buddha's enlightenment? You probably remember that it happened on a Vesak full moon, and that he sat next to the river Neranjara. You may even remember that Māra tried to stop him from attaining enlightenment. But can you remember the 3 special knowledges that he gained in his mind that night? We'll learn about those 3 things in the sermon today. We'll even learn the Pali words for these 3 things. If you can't quite catch them in the sermon, click on the show notes link to see them written out clearly. Now let's take the refuges and the precepts. Before we take the 5 precepts, we can think back about any precepts we may have broken since we took them the last time. It's good if we can tell our parents if we have. That way, they can help us figure out how not to break the precepts in the future. But even if we feel too shy to do that, we can still make the decision right now not to break those precepts again. So, think for a moment if you've broken any of the precepts, and then we'll take them again together.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Saṅghaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Tatiyampi saṅghaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Say after me, I observe the precept of abstaining from killing beings. I observe the precept of abstaining from stealing. I observe the precept of abstaining from sexual misconduct. I observe the precept of abstaining from telling lies. I observe the precept of abstaining from taking intoxicating drinks and drugs with the refuge of the Noble Triple Gem. I observe these precepts. for happiness in this life, for rebirth in heaven, to escape from the sufferings of samsara. May it help me. May it be a blessing. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Dear meritorious listeners and dear children, today we are going to learn about the three knowledges that the Buddha had. The first of these three knowledges is the Pubbenivasanusati jnana. That is the ability to recollect his past lives. Now, during the first watch of the night before he became the Buddha, he gained this knowledge. It's called the Pubbenivasanusati jnana. Now, it was possible for him to see his past lives, not just one or two lives, 20, 30, 40, 50 lives, but he saw millions of billions of lives that he lived. It was so vivid. It is not now, when we remember things, we don't remember things in detail. Now, if we think about yesterday, the things that we ate, it's not really clear. If someone asks us the question, what did you do yesterday, or what did you eat yesterday? Sometimes it's not possible for us to even recall what we ate or what we did yesterday. Even though we remember, it is not that clear, it's not vivid. The memory that we have is so faint. But when it comes to Pubbenivasanusati jnana, it is something really different. It is vivid. It is as if we are seeing things right now at present. It was possible for the Buddha to see his past lives in detail. So he knew what his name was back in that life, and he knew how long he lived. He knew whom he associated with, everything he knew. When he became the Buddha, he used that knowledge to preach the Dhamma. Now, in one of the suttas, in the Sutta Pitaka, the name of that sutta is Mahagovinda. In it, he said he was born as a Brahmin by the name Mahagovinda, and he helped his friends. I think he had 7 friends. All of them became kings. Now, what he wanted to do was that he didn't want these kings to fight with each other. So what he did was that he separated this huge country into 7 separate states, and he shared these 7 states among his friends. And he went into seclusion and he meditated. And there he met the Mahabrahma. He was able to speak with the Mahabrahma, and they exchanged greetings, and they had a conversation. So he used this knowledge, the knowledge that he had about his past lives, to preach us Dhamma. Then during the second watch of the night, he gained the second knowledge that is called in Pali Chatupapata jnana. Now that jnana is a unique one. From that wisdom or that knowledge, it was possible for the Buddha to see beings die and being born in new destinations. Now, how many destinations are there? Bad destinations? There are 4 bad destinations: the hell, the ghost world, the asura world, and the animal world is there, the human world is there, and there are 6 divine worlds, there are many Brahma worlds. We don't get this chance to be here in this human world all the time. When we die, some Some people, they are born in hell, some people are born in heaven, some people rarely, they reach the Brahma world. So the Buddha was able to see this, even this in detail. Now, it is not possible for us to see. We see a person dies, then we see his funeral, then that's about it. We don't see beyond that. But the Buddha was able to see everything in a sense here. What it means is that it was possible for him to say, this person died and he's now born in this particular destination, and he is experiencing such pain or such pleasures. So that knowledge he got during the second watch of the night. It is called the Chitupapata Jnana, the ability to see beings dying and being born again in another world. During the third watch of the night, before he became a Buddha, he gained a knowledge. This third knowledge is called Asavakkhaya Jnana. Now, asavas are inner tendencies that we have in our mind. There are three kinds of asavas. One is kama-asava, the other is bhava-asava, and the third one is avijja-asava. Kama-asava is the desire that we have in our mind to enjoy sensual pleasures. Bhava-asava is the desire that we have for the existence, so to be born again and again and travel in this long journey of samsara. Avijja-asava is simply ignorance, not knowing what the Four Noble Truths are. Now, the Buddha, using this knowledge, he eradicated the reason for suffering, and he attained the supreme bliss of Nibbana. So this is called the Asavakkhaya Jnana. So after gaining all these three knowledges, finally the Asavakkhaya Jnana, he eradicated all the defilements and he became a Buddha. So when we recollect the qualities of the Buddha, we can recollect these three qualities as well. The first is Pubbē Nivāsānussati Jnana, the second is Chitupapata Jnana, and the third is Asavakkhaya Jnana. So hope you will remember the Dhamma points learned here today, and we wish you, by the merit that we have gained today, you would attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Paritta chanting. Lokavabodha Sutta, the discourse about realizing the world. Turn to page 10 in your chanting book. In the sermon, we just learned the three knowledges that the Supreme Buddha gained on the night of his enlightenment. In the sutta that we're about to chant, we'll learn more about what it means to be a Buddha and to have these knowledges. We can find this sutta in a collection called the Itivuttaka. When we have confidence in the Supreme Buddha's enlightenment, chanting these verses is an easy way for the mind to become happy and calm. Now let's chant together.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. This discourse was taught by the Blessed One, taught by the Arahant, the fully enlightened Supreme Buddha. This is as I heard. Monks, the world has been fully understood by the Theragatha,
The Tathagata is detached from the world. Monks, the origin of the world has been fully understood by the Tathagata. The origin of the world has been eradicated by the Tathagata. Monks, the cessation of the world has been fully understood by the Tathagata. The cessation of the world has been realized by the Tathagata. Monks, the way leading to the cessation of the world has been fully understood by the Tathagata. The way leading to the cessation of the world has been developed by the Tathagata. Monks, in the world with its devas, Māras and Brahmas, with its recluses and Brahmins, in this whole generation, with its devas and humans, whatever is seen, heard, smelled, tasted, touched, cognized, attained, sought, and reflected upon by the mind, that is fully understood by the Tathagata. Therefore he is called the Tathagata. Monks, from the night when the Tathagata awakens to unsurpassed full enlightenment, until the night when he passes away into the Nibbana element with no residue left. During that time period, whatever he speaks, utters and explains, all that is just so and not otherwise. Therefore he is called the Tathagata. Monks, whatever way the Tathagata speaks, that is exactly the way the Tathagata acts. Whatever way the Tathagata acts, that is exactly the way the Tathagata speaks. In this way the Tathagata acts as he speaks, and speaks as he acts. Therefore he is called the Tathagata. Monks, in the world with its devas, Māras and Brahmas, with its recluses and Brahmins, in this whole generation, with its devas and humans, the Tathagata is the conqueror of all, unvanquished, the one who realized everything, the one who took everything under his control. Therefore he is called the Tathagata. This is the meaning of what the Blessed One said. So with regard to this it was said, having realized the whole world and the true nature of the whole world. The Tathagata is detached from the world and has abandoned desire for the whole world. The all-conquering wise sage, freed from every bond, is the Blessed One. The Buddha has reached that perfect peace, Nibbana, which is free from fear. The Buddha is freed from all taints and freed from all suffering, with doubts destroyed, reached the destruction of all karma, liberated by the destruction of unwholesomeness. The Enlightened One, the Blessed One, the unsurpassed Lion King, giving happiness to the world of Devas and humans, turns the noble wheel of Dhamma. Thus wise Devas and humans went for refuge to the Buddha, and on meeting him they pay homage. The greatest one, the all-seeing hero, the Blessed One is perfectly tamed. Of those who tame, he is the best. The Blessed One is perfectly calmed. Of those who calm others, he is the seer. The Blessed One is freed from suffering. Of those who free others, he is the foremost. The Blessed One crossed over samsara. Of those who help others to cross, he is the chief. Thus Devas and humans pay homage to the greatest one, to the all-seeing hero, saying in the world together with its Devas, there is no one equaling you. You are the unique supreme teacher. This too is the meaning of what was said by the Blessed One. This is exactly as I heard. Etena saccena suvatti hotu. By this truth may there be well-being. Sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu.
Theragatha. Verses of Enlightened Monks. The verses that we're about to hear were spoken by a monk who was part of a family of very wise people. His mother encouraged him to practice the Dhamma, and his sister also achieved success in these teachings. He was really lucky to be surrounded by good people who could help him like this. As we're listening carefully, we'll hear him say that he has attained the triple knowledge. These are the exact same three knowledges we learned about the Supreme Buddha attaining on the night of his enlightenment. Now, not all of his enlightened disciples get all three of these knowledges, but some who have very developed minds do. Do you remember the difference between a Supreme Buddha who attains these three knowledges and a disciple who attains these three knowledges? They're the same three, but the difference is that the Supreme Buddha realizes them on his own without anyone's help. But his disciples realize them depending on the help of the Supreme Buddha. Now let's listen carefully to these verses.
The verses of Arahant Vaḍḍha. It is wonderful how my mother advised me. It was like warning me with a stick. Having listened to advice from my mother, I followed. I practiced the Dhamma energetically, giving it first priority. I attained supreme enlightenment. Now I am an enlightened one. I am worthy of gifts. I have gained the triple knowledge. I have seen Nibbana. I have conquered the army of Māra. Now I live free from taints. All internal and external taints that were found in my life have been destroyed without remaining. They will never rise again. My younger sister is also well skilled in the Dhamma. Confidently, she also told me about this. Defilements are not seen in you. Defilements are not seen in me. All suffering has been brought to an end. This is the final body. Within the cycle of birth and death, there is no more rebirth for me. These verses were said by Arahant Vaḍḍha.
We're so happy that you were able to join us today. We hope that you learned something new, and we really hope that you can use what you learned as you go about the rest of your day. Do you remember the 3 knowledges the Supreme Buddha gained on the night of his enlightenment? The knowledge to remember his past lives, the knowledge to see how beings are born and die according to the actions that they've done, and the knowledge that he had completely purified his mind and attained enlightenment. Now when you think about that night of his enlightenment, you can know what was happening in his amazing mind. Now let's share merits. Today, we've done many wholesome actions by body, speech, and mind. May our teacher Lokasaya, may our parents, our relatives, our friends rejoice in this merit, and may they soon experience for themselves the supreme bliss of Nibbana in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya.